Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqui and I'll be taking you through step by step on how to get into a headstand today. This was requested by you guys over on my Instagram, so if you want to stay up to date with my latest videos, classes flows, and even choose what video I upload next, then please give me a follow. I'll put my handle up here somewhere. So we'll be going through step by step, progressively taking it one step further each time, with small pauses in between just to let the circulation come back through our entire body. And if you've never done headstands before, please just take it slowly. And there is absolutely no rush to get into the headstand because when we do rush, that is often when we lose focus and then it doesn't work. And there's also absolutely no pressure to get your headstand on your first try. So before we get started, just a few suggestions from me. If you have long hair, I would tie it back low behind like this because there's so many times when I'm in my practice with a top bun and I want to do a headstand, but it's in the way, so I can't do it. And then it's up to you whether or not you want to practice at the wall or out in the center of the room. But if you are practicing at the wall, I would suggest to get quite close so that it is right there to support you if you do lose your balance a little bit. If you are further away, you could fall against the wall and then kind of flop over sideways, and that can be kind of painful. And if you're in the center of the room, just make sure that you have space around you so that you won't fall and hurt yourself on any furniture. And also to have enough space at the top of your mat if you do fall. So I would start sort of towards the end of the mat. And it's up to you, maybe you want to place some cushions out along the length just to soften your fall if you do fall. And on falling, if you are in the center, the best thing is to just curl yourself up into a ball, tuck your chin, and then do a roly-poly onto your back. So I'm going to show you what that's like right now. So that you're not too scared about it. So let's come into our headstand and then tucking the legs up. And so if you're going to fall, just tuck your chin and then roll into a ball. So not that scary. So please take it slow, be careful, and listen to your body. So first of all, we're going to come to standing just to get that activation through the whole body and the alignment, because when we're upside down, everything can feel a little bit around the wrong way. You don't know quite where is up and where is down. So let's come to standing in our mountain pose or Tadasana. So pulling up through the kneecaps, engaging those muscles above the knees, pressing the hips forward, engaging the glutes, engaging the core, keeping the ribs in. And we're going to place our hands like we would if we were in a handstand. So we'll interlace the fingers and place them behind our head. And you can just keep the elbows soft for now. Roll the shoulders down. And then let's come up onto our tippy toes. So bringing the weight forward. And you'll notice when you come onto your tippy toes that you have to activate through the legs even more to hold yourself in a balanced position. So that's the kind of feeling that we want when we're upside down as well. So all the leg is activated, the glutes are squeezed together, your core is engaged, shoulders and down, and then your head sits nicely on top of your spine. So just remember this feeling, and then we'll come down onto the mat. And so first of all, we're just going to get the feeling of having a bit of pressure on the top of the head. And when we are in the headstand, most of the pressure is still in the forearms, but there will still be a slight pressure on the head. So let's come forward, tuck the toes, placing the hands on either side of the mat, and then we'll place the head in between the hands. And then we'll just start to roll back and forth so that I still have a lot of weight on my hands here. There's just a little bit of pressure on my head. And we're just rolling back and forth from the top of the forehead through the crown of the head and then a little bit further back. And then let's come back up. And then we can talk about our hand and arm position. So we want to hold on to the elbows like this, and then we'll come forward. And then clasp your fingers together, but I like to keep the thumbs open for a little bit more balance, and it just cups my head and supports my head a bit better. And then we can bring our weight forward onto the arms, And with your shoulders, make sure you haven't allowed them to sink down, but you're pushing your arms into the mat to lift your shoulder blades up to the sky. So we want to keep that activation. And then we'll place the forehead, not the forehead, the crown of the head on the mat. And it's really, if you imagine someone pulling a piece of string from the top of your head, that is the very spot that you're going to place in the center onto the mat. So if we have our forehead or the top of our forehead on the mat, it's going to take our spine out of balance. So if I try to draw a line from my pelvis all the way up, if I have my forehead in line with that, you'll see that my chin is out of alignment and my neck is cinched in the back. And if we place it too far back, if I draw that line up again, you'll see that my head is also out of alignment. So we want that nice long line from the very crown of the head, drawing all the way up, thinking about lengthening through the back of the spine. So I'll come forward again, holding on to the elbows, hands clasped together, thumbs open, and then placing the top of the head just onto the mat, and your hands are supporting your head. And then let's straighten the legs as much as we can. So remember, your shoulders are pressed away, your arms are pressing into the mat, and most of the weight is still on my arms here. Okay, then let's lower down. And then let's come back up. Straighten the legs as much as you can. And then lower back down. Let's do that one more time. Pushing the arms into the mat. Lift up the knees. And then let's come back down. Let's untuck the toes and we can just take a moment here in child's pose. So it's really important to take those breaks in between each time you do the headstand, just to let the blood to circulate throughout your body again. Okay, and then let's come to the next step. So again, let's go through our steps. So holding on to the elbows, hands forward, clasp the fingers, keep the thumbs open, placing the top of the head onto the mat, supporting your head with your hands, tuck the toes, and then lift up the knees, pressing the arms into the mat to push the shoulders away. And then this time, let's see if we can take small steps closer towards our head. And you can bend your knees if you need to. So we have a little bit more pressure on our arms and our head this time. So kind of just get used to this feeling of being upside down. Bending the legs if you need to. And then let's walk the feet back out. And bring the knees back down, untuck the toes, coming back into our child's pose. And just take a few breaths here. So again, don't rush it. Just come to wherever you feel comfortable today, and maybe day by day you can work your steps further and progress a little bit further. Okay, let's come to the next step. So let's go through the steps again, holding on to the elbows, hands in the center, interlaced fingers, thumbs open, crown of the head on the mat. Tuck the toes, press the arms into the mat, lift up through the knees, and let's walk the feet closer together. As close as you can to your body. You can bend the knees if you need to. And let's start to bend one leg into the body. And then lower that leg. And then let's bend the other leg. So you notice that you're getting a little bit more weight and pressure onto your hands. Let's bend the first leg again. And maybe see if you can rock up onto the toes of your bottom leg. Just getting a little bit more weight into your arms and your head. And then lower down. Other leg. Again, rocking up under the toes and down. And then lowering the feet, walking back out and lower the knees. And then come back into your child's pose. Take as long as you need here. Just regain your center, regain your breath. And then whenever you're ready, we can come to the next step. So holding on to the elbows, arms out, interlace the fingers, thumbs open, crown of the head on the mat, and then pressing the arms into the mat, tuck the toes, lift the knees, walk the feet close to your body. Let's float one leg in, and then let's see if we can get the other one off. And then come into a tuck position. And you notice here, so I'm not quite in balance yet. I need to bring my hips back further to get them over my shoulders. And now here I feel a lot more stable. So it's a lot further back than you think, and it can be quite scary. But just get used to it and go step by step, and then come down whenever you need to. We can do that one more time. So lifting up through the knees, walking the feet close together, floating one foot off, and then the other. And you notice that when I float off here, it's just a really light. There's no need to kick yourself, because when you kick yourself off balance, and that's when you can fall over. So you want to walk the feet as close to your body as you can, so that we're in a really nice compact position. Bring one leg in, and then just press, float up, and then shift your hips back to be in line with your shoulders. And then you can just stay in this tuck position, getting used to this feeling of being upside down. Press your arms into the mat. Press the shoulders away, engage to the core, and then lowering down. Bring the knees down, untuck the toes, and come back to your child's pose. And again, take your time here. Take as long as you need to for the blood to come back through to the rest of your body. It can be a kind of an unusual feeling if you've never been upside down before, but it's okay to have that rush of blood to the face and the head. And actually, they say it's really good to improve your brain function and your mental function, because you're bringing that circulation into your brain, and actually it really helps you to focus and concentrate. Because you can imagine when you're upside down, if you lose focus, or I notice that when I think about something else or my mind wanders, that's when I lose my balance and I just fall over. So you can see how that really helps you to improve your concentration and your focus. And it's also really great if you're having feelings of anxiety or stress. Doing a headstand is really helpful for that, because it turns your attention inwards, and then you kind of forget about the other things outside. You're focused on staying balanced. So let's come into the next step if you're ready. So holding on to the elbows, open up the arms, clasp the fingers together, thumbs open, crown of the head on the mat, supporting your head. Press the shoulders and the arms into the mat, tuck the toes, lift up the knees, walk the feet closer to your body, and then float one leg off into the tuck and then the other. Shift the hips back so that they're in line with your shoulders. And then the next step, we'll try to straighten just one leg up to the sky and keep the other one tucked. So this way you feel that you still have a bit more weight in the front of your body so that you won't fall backwards. So remember the feeling that we had in Tadasana at the beginning? That's how I want your leg to feel, the one that's straight up. So engaging through the entire leg, pulling up the muscles above the kneecaps, maybe pointing your toes towards the sky, or flointing, so flexing the feet but pointing the foot, squeezing the glutes. And then let's come back down. Untuck the toes and come into your child's pose. And just take a moment here. You're doing really well. And okay, whenever you're ready, let's come into the full headstand if you're ready to go that far. So again, going through our steps, holding on to the elbows, clasping the fingers together, thumbs open, crown of the head on the mat, pressing the arms into the mat, tuck the toes, lift the knees, walk the feet closer to the body,
Float one foot off and then the other. Shift your hips back and then engaging through the legs, squeezing the glutes, pressing your arms into the mat, and take your gaze to one still point to help you with your focus and your balance. And then we can slowly start to straighten the legs up to the sky. Engage through the core, squeeze your glutes, and then try to find that position that we had in Tadasana. So stacking everything on top of each other, feet, hips, shoulders, and the head. And then staying as long as you feel comfortable, and then bending the knees. See if you can control your way down. And then dropping the feet down, knees down. Let's come back into our child's pose. And then stay here as long as you need to. And take those long, nice deep breaths. And so it is going to take time and patience to master your headstand. So keep coming back to it, keep practicing, and just take it slow and enjoy the journey along the way. And if you want more tutorials like this, please let me know and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye.